Hi again then guys, and welcome to another circuit spec tune setup, predominantly for handling and control rather than straight line speed. And this car was a requested one, the R32 Skyline GT-R. This is probably going to be one of the last tunes which we do before the forthcoming 1.13 update, which looks to be coming tomorrow, I believe it was, if not tomorrow, the day after, but I think it was tomorrow. So that's going to be pretty cool, breaking down the new cars, tunes, etc, etc. But for now, the R32 is a widely loved car, so for this tune I decided to change it up a little bit and not build it for a specific class, because of course balance of performance comes into play. Different people want to race the car in different classes, in lobbies. So what I did is, instead of doing a specific class or power level, I just made it a universal tune, something which you can take the power down or up and it will still work, with only some minor changes necessary. So as you can see, we've got stock power, stock weight, but as I said, you can adjust that to be whatever level you want, even up to the full 800 horsepower. Traction control you definitely want turned off. We're running on sports hards just to see what it can do. And as far as the suspension, we've dropped the ride height as low as possible to get that centre of gravity nice and low. The frequency we've increased to 2.10, anti-roll 6 on the front, 5 on the rear. The compression on the dampers we've increased quite a bit, up to 65, a little bit on the rebound to 90. Neutral camber, neutral toe, you just don't need it on this car. You can't adjust the downforce, of course. As far as the diff, I would recommend the lowest settings on initial torque and braking, and then 40 on acceleration. Now you could go up to 60, or of course you could take it lower. And if you want to, just to be clear, you could have a totally different setup there if you want to. If you already know what you prefer, by all means go for that. That's just what I like, so give it a try. If you don't like it, of course you could change it, and if you find it doesn't work as well, you could just come back. As far as the gearbox, it doesn't really matter. As I said, it's a universal tune, so just change the auto setting and the final drive according to the power that you're using. This particular setup, which I'm using with the fully customized gearbox, of course, is 168 on the auto setting, and then I've just left all the rest as is, and that's more than good enough for the standard power and weight. So all that remains, of course, is to see what this tune can actually do for the car. And what better way to prove that for a GT-R than by taking it around the ring. Now, around the Nordschleife, the Skyline is of course a legend, so I wanted to see what it could do around this track even without any power or weight upgrades, purely based on what we could do on the smaller scale, just tinkering around with the diff, the suspension in particular, and also the gearbox of course by extension. Kind of like what we used to do in Sleeper Spec, where we would take a car and tune it in such a way that you couldn't tell it was just 10, 15, 20 seconds quicker, and around the Nordschleife in particular, you could often make a car with no upgrades about 40 seconds quicker. We would often do that. Incredible differences. In the case of this car, I managed to get this around, and I'm sure there are people who could go quicker, but I got this car in its stock form, just the upgrades that I just showed, or the tuning, in just over 8 minutes. Which for a stock car of this kind of caliber, I think that's pretty good. As I said, doubtless people can get it under 8 minutes, that wouldn't surprise me at all. It's certainly got that potential in the right hands, and of course with that kind of precedent set in stock form, imagine what you could do when you increase the power, put it on better tyres, and of course I was still running on sports hards, so you could definitely shave a few seconds at least off. If I ran it on racing tyres, I could have probably taken it under 8 minutes fairly easily. So if it can do that already, then by all means give it a go. I hope you enjoy using it, potentially win races with it. It certainly has plenty of potential to win races, and it's very beginner friendly. This is one of the most beginner friendly tunes I've done, so if you're new to the game, slap it on the car and have a lot of fun. So if you'd like to check out others on the channel, you can click through at the end of this video to see all of my Gran Turismo Sport tunes, be it for drag, circuit, whatever the case may be, some replicas as well, and then you can enjoy those too. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.